Hey you guys, this is Eric Silvermoon, and today it is day 27 of my 30 Days of Magic challenge, where I share with you my daily practice, spell work, and all that magical stuff. And so today I actually wanted to share with you guys how I am going to create a witch ball. And to this video, I added a link to where you could get some more information about what that is. For me, I mean, this is, they're all intuitive. This is the first time I'm actually going to do one. And so it is very intuitive. The items and herbs that I chose to use today are divinely guided and selected. And so there's so many different ways to make them. And I've been watching a couple videos and I just really got excited to make my own. I have family that's moving down to Merced, and I thought it would be a great housewarming gift to give them a witch ball to protect their home and protect their family while they live here, and the transition and changes, and just coming down to an unaware place like this town and coming down from another area. There's certain things that could happen, and for me, I felt comfortable doing this for them, and I hope that they receive this gift well. So what I wanted to share also is that I'm going to move the camera down so you kind of see my workstation. I've created my sacred space. I have lit my working candle. And yeah, so like I said, the tools that I selected today are just what I was guided to work with. And witch's bottles, or I should say witch's ball, is very similar to the witch's bottle. When I first moved to this house, I created a witch's bottle the first week I moved in here, and the items that went in that I put into that witch's bottle, because I wanted to protect my home, and so it had herbs that I resonate with protection. It had my hair, my fiance's hair for my pets. It had citrine crystal. It had just the intent that I wanted to be protected in this house, and I wanted all the energy to be dispersed. And so it's fresh energy. And again, protection. I also put a rusty nail that symbolizes protection and to ward off any negativity, any person that is wanting to cause ill will. And so when I was researching the legends of the witch ball, it is the same purpose. Actually, I think the witch ball came first before the witch's bottle. So it's very similar. It has so many different things that you could do with it. So I'm actually going to make two. I'm not sure if I'm going to show both of them because it might be a little bit redundant. So the one that I'm going to do right now is for protection for my family that's moving down here to Merced. I want them to have that kind of witch bottle kind of feel to it. Excuse me, to protection for their home and for their family. I don't have anything of their personal belongings, but it should still work the same. And so these are designed so you could hang them and decorate them in your home, or I've heard that you want to put them maybe on a window or somewhere where it's the front entrance, to kind of clean and charge. And the other one that I'm going to make is for my personal home. I want to create one so that it acts almost as a negativity filter. And I want to put that right in the front window by my front door, so that it kind of works as soon as people come in, including myself and my family, we are being kind of cleansed in that aspect, that any negativity, anything from the day, is being cleansed and it's being absorbed. So if I feel how the time frame kind of goes with this video, I'll go ahead and I'll make both. If not, then I'll just go ahead and make the one for the family that's moving down here. So I'm going to move the camera so you can see my workplace or my workspace. And there you go. And so witch's balls, you could actually use a lot of different things. I bought these clear glass ornaments from Hobby Lobby, and they were $4 for $6, but they were 50% off, so $3, so it was actually a good steal. They're nice, they're very delicate, and so You know, you have to be gentle. And actually, I'm going to take off my ring before I break something. But yeah, so what you want to do is that I've already cleansed and charged this, and I did it by putting my hands on it and releasing any and all negativity that's around it. Doing my black smoke kind of cleansing, and you know, so you want to be careful when you take this off. So I already kind of cleansed the items here. And so the first thing you want to do is you want to take off this little ornament thing, and I like to kind of cup it under the smoke to allow some of that smoke to go up there, if it goes in or not. Probably not, but you know, smoke to me is very cleansing. And what I find that it's going to be a little bit interesting is how I'm going to enter all my items in here. Since it is a very small opening, it's going to be very messy. So I'm going to try to be as clean as possible. And I just realized that I don't think that the citrine chips that I want, well, the citrine tumblestones that I wanted are going to fit in here. So I'm actually going to grab a citrine chip that I believe I have. So I have a bunch of little citrine and crystal chips in here. So I see a bunch of citrines. So I'm going to do 3 citrines for each. And like I mentioned before in past videos, citrine for me is very cleansing and supercharging. So it always keeps that magic that I do always charged. And it's just one of my things that I like doing. So I'm going to do 3 each. Okay, so I have that there. And I've written a little spell. It's a personal spell for my family. And so I won't share what's in here because, of course, it's personal. It's towards them. And so I want to keep their identity because it does have their names, has the names of their children. And so I want to make sure that I keep their, you know, identity private. And so what I'm going to do is that I'm going to very carefully put this in here. And it's hopefully without shattering this ball. Okay, so it's nice and in there. And I'm going to start adding some of the herbs and things that I wanted to put in here. And again, I know that some of the items that I really wanted to put in here, I wasn't thinking about the small opening, so I might break away by pieces, but we'll see how it goes. So one of the things that I wanted to add in this one for their home protection is I have pink Himalayan salt, and it is, for me, this salt is very nurturing. It's filled with that Aphrodite, love, goddess energy, pink Himalayan salt. It's very purifying. It is soothing. It reminds me of just love and earth energy. And so I wanted to put that in there to symbolize that they will have a very abundant, loving life and that they are protected. And so I'm going to go ahead and add a few pieces at a time because of a small little opening. And again, I'm probably going to make a huge mess, but I think it's okay. I'll just vacuum. And I really do like adding 3 pinches of everything, but since I really can't measure the way I want to, I'm just going to add until I feel guided to stop adding. And I'm also going to decorate the ball with some yarn and some charms, kind of make it my own. I always think that these kind of gifts, when they're full of intent, like positive intent, make the best gifts ever. I always say that witches, well, I should say spiritual, like-minded people give the best gifts ever, which I believe that is definitely true. I'm a huge trade kind of witch. As a psychic reading too, I love exchanging readings for readings, readings for different little things. I love it. And so I think I'm okay with the pink salt. And it almost kind of gives it this really cool message in a bottle kind of feel to it. So hopefully you can see it. It just has this little cool thing. So I'm going to add the 3 citrine chips in here. Again, to kind of keep that nice and charged and positive. I'm going to add a bay leaf. Bay leaf to me is super protective. It is one of the, I guess, one of my all-time favorite protective kind of herbs, if you want to say a leaf. I used to write little things, like one-word things that I wanted to release, whether it'll be like angry or anger or fear or sadness, and I will burn them because bay leaves burn very quick. So it symbolizes that instant release, and it turns into smoke. And so it's just that instant magical moment when you burn a bay leaf and it just goes into the air and you just feel relieved. And so in this aspect, I do want to put that as I break it. I want that same feeling. I want any negativity, anybody that's has the intent to be negative around them or to their children or to the home, I want them to disperse just as quickly. I don't want that negative energy around them. I don't want any drama for them. I want to make sure that they enjoy their stay here and that they just have a beautiful experience, and that their home is protected, that they're protected, and that they know that they are loved. And so I'm going to go ahead and add those in there. And the more you add, the more gorgeous it looks. It looks, I mean, very magical to me. So I can't wait to make my own. I might use different items because the one I want for myself, again, I want it to be more like a negative filter. But this one's more for protection for the home. So I think I'm good with these bay leaves. And the next thing I'm going to add, and all the herbs I'm using are for protection because I wanted to make it a very powerful protective totem. Or not totem, I guess totem. And so I'm using sage right now. I love the smell of sage. And so I know this is going to get messy, so I'm going to try to put as much sage as I can fit without making a huge mess. And I wasn't sure if I wanted to make a video of this because, you know, this one for my family, which they're actually relatives of my fiance Eric. So they're not immediate family. They're by, you know, my fiance's family. But since I've known them, they've always tend to have, I don't want to say bad luck, but I want to say that just, you know, shit just always seems to happen with them. And I always keep them in my prayers. And, you know, this time I was like, you know what? I think they've had enough. I think it's time for them to enjoy their life. I'm ready for those kids to not to fear anything anymore, because they've had a lot of shit happen to them, and the kids have been they've been through a lot, which is why they probably came to Merced in the first place, because I came over here to disconnect from the LA area and all the toxic behaviors that was going on. So I hope that their stay here allows them to find themselves just like I found myself here. So I'm going to add one more pinch of sage. Okay. And the next herb that I'm going to add is St. John's wort. And St. John's wort is very powerful. I want to say, for me, it's more powerful than sage. I think this one has, you know, it's tied into happiness, into luck, into positive energy, into very, you know, protective energies. I think sage is more of a protective, but more of a cleansing kind of herb. And St. John's wort, it is almost like working with the angels in a sense. Like, I feel like it's more of a guardian angel kind of herb. And so St. John's wort, that's what it represents to me. And so having that kind of protective, angelic element in here, especially when dealing with kids, you know, I know that everyone has assigned guardian angels, but I want them to really feel their presence and that to know that they are loved and protected. And so this is going to be very difficult, but I'm going to try to put them in here. Because St. Johnfort tends to be very, very coarse and very twig-like, I guess I should say. So I'm making a big mess, but it's okay. Sometimes magic is very messy. And then put all that in there. And while I'm doing this, I am definitely thinking of them. Since I don't have something personal, you know, that ties them in from them, like either hair or anything like that, I'm trying to picture their faces and picture them being happy and enjoying their life in their new home. I'm picturing their kids having a good experience here with their new schools, you know, not having to worry about their safety, not having to worry about drama, just allowing themselves to be children, really. They're really young. For a long time, their daughter was in the hospital a lot for health issues. And, you know, I've been praying, the family's been praying, and she's been doing so much better. She's been getting a little bit healthy. She had some kind of immune deficiency when she was young. And so I don't want that to hinder her in her life. And so I'm just keeping all these best wishes as I am filling this bottle for them. And I should probably get some of the stuff that I'm dropping here too. Recycle. Okay, so I'm going to try to add some more. I've seen some amazing blown glass witch bottles or witch balls. They are stunning. I don't know. I think it's just colored glass or stained glass. I don't know if there's room enough for you to put stuff in it, but I saw some on Etsy. They look beautiful, and they blow them in a way so it has like a little. The glass has a little hook to it, so you could actually hang them. But these glass boards or ornaments are perfect. Okay, so I think that is enough. So it has all these nice little herbs in it. The next one I'm going to use is eggshells. Eggshells for me are, again, protection, but they symbolize almost that protective shield around it. So I definitely want their home to be protected. I want them to have a permanent protective shield around themselves and their children. I want, you know, I just want that very home, hearth, protection feeling on their land. And so this is broken eggshells, and so what that symbolizes to me too is that yes, they are protected, but they are also warning off anybody else that has some ill will intent. It stands for protection as well. And so I'm going to grab some of these and I can fit my fingers in it. And I'm going to take a piece and break it up in my hand and feed it through. Have another piece and break it. And the way I harvest these eggshells, they're just the normal eggs that you get from the store. But the way I prepare to keep the shells is that I grab the eggs that I wanted to use for this reason, to harvest the eggshells. And I cleanse them, I cleanse the eggs, and I got them ready for my use. And so what I did is that I made a really nice, healthy omelet with them, and I put the magical herbs on it. So I wanted it to be a magical meal for myself and for my fiance Eric. And I saved the eggshells because I wanted for this reason. And the whole purpose was just that it was always going to be for a magical intent. It was a magical meal, and I was very clear of what I wanted to use the eggshells for. And then I let them out in the sun so they could get some so they could dry very well, and it gets that nice sun energy. And when I felt like they were ready, I put them in my little jar. Okay, so I think that's enough eggshells. And the last thing I wanted to put in this was cinnamon, because cinnamon for me has that fiery kick of protection, that that passion when almost like when a mother feels very protective over the children, the father feels very protective. That's what I wanted. I wanted that really tight guard kind of feel to it. And so I have whole cinnamon sticks, and so I knew that I was not going to be able to fit one, but I was hoping that maybe I could try to it smells so good. Try to break one up and then just use one whole cinnamon stick in here, because you don't have to break it up in little pieces because it kind of breaks up and fits perfectly in here. I'm going to break this up as well. And I'm going to give it a nice little shake. And I think that's it. And so actually, you know what? I am being guided to add a little fun in here so that they have fun and joy. So I'm going to grab my fairy dust, and I'm going to put some fairy in here to give it some nice, beautiful sparkle. Especially since I have kids, I want them to enjoy their life here. And so I'm going to grab some from my cabinet. So I'm going to move really quickly. Okay. So I have, how do you see it? Fairy dust. And it is just this great little dusty glitter that I got at a craft store, and I blessed it for the intent. And I focused all the fairy energy into it. And so it reminds me to have fun, to enjoy life, and to not be fearful. Because since it is a lot of protectiveness energy in here, I don't want it to be like there's a reason why they need to be so protective. So having this little element of whimsy and fun, I think might do a nice little trick. And I have the fan going on, so I really hope not to get glitter everywhere. So I'm going to go ahead and sprinkle that in there. And I love glitter. I really do. I don't know if anybody else, but every time I see glitter, I can't help but think of Peter Pan for some reason. I don't even know if there's even glitter, but it's so pretty. Okay, I'm going to add one more pinch. I think I'm just going to scoop it in this way. Oh yeah, way easier. Okay, so I'm going to clean around it. Make it a nice little shake. And you can, I don't know if you can see it, all the stuff inside, or the glitter, but it gives it this really nice little shine to the inside of it. And so now that I have everything in here, I'm going to close this up, move this out of the way. I have, I look like a hooker. I have this awesome black twine that I got at a craft store, and I'm just going to decorate. I'm going to try to see if I could kind of tie a couple of them here and just tie the round it, just to create this nice little area. And I'm almost thinking, I'll try doing it differently. I'm going to try to do a couple this way, and a couple this way. And right when I get to a good spot, I'm going to place this back on it to kind of secure it. And then I'm going to make a knot. I want to make sure with if this is secure, so it's not. So I think, and this is a learning process. This is the first time I'm making it, so I think it's better for me to put this first. Secure it. Let me see. Perfect. And then I'm going to wrap this around it. I've seen people seal, like when I do my witch's bottle, I seal it with candle wax, black candle wax. I don't see why you can't do this either. I think it'll give it a really cool kind of look. And so I think I might actually do that for this. And so I'm going to go ahead and give it a couple twines to just tighten that little cap. The cap that's on this one, like I said, I got this at Hobby Lobby. It's like a little foil cap. So if I tighten this little tightly, it's going to kind of really seal that in. And I always do 6 knots. The first one I always do in the name of the maiden. And then I do another one in the name of the mother. And then I do another one in the name of the crone. And hopefully I have enough to do enough. So I usually like to do another 3, but I don't think I have enough room. So I guess I'm going to leave it at that. And I have scissors here. So I'm going to do one more knot. And then cut the little slack off. And I have this kind of bracelet kind of string that's very elastic, so I'm going to cut a piece because I want to wrap this silver moon charm on it. If you can see it, let me see. There you go. I'm going to loop this in there, and I want to add that charm to it. Okay, and I'm going to dress the bottle with it, or decorate, I should say. I'm going to do one more little knot. And I think this just, it just looks so witchy, especially if you see it like hanging somewhere. Especially if it's a place where the light hits it, I think it's going to look really pretty. I don't know what kind of faith they have. To be honest, I don't even know if they'll accept this gift. I don't know if they even know that I'm a witch. But I'm just going to let them know that I did this with my highest intent for them. And if they receive it, then great. If they don't want it in their house, then I will keep it here for them in my house. Just to know that, you know, I'm just putting this energy. It's up to them if they want to have it or not. But that's what it looks like. You could decorate a bunch of different ways. And then I'm going to use the rest of this yarn because they could do, actually this one has a knot, so I'm going to cut a fresh piece. They can hang it wherever they want. And I'm just going to loop it in here. And tie it. I think this is a good size. Okay, and there you have it. So that is a witch ball and my interpretation. So you can see that my spells in there, my intent, technically my prayer to them. You kind of move it around. And it just kind of has these really nice protective elements in there. And so I'm going to keep this in my altar to charge some more. They are moving in on Wednesday, so I'm going to put this in a nice little bag and tell them to put them wherever they feel guided to put it. You know, I know it's said to place it in the, I think it's at the east window of their front living area, but I'm not really good with directions. I kind of just put it wherever I feel like it needs to be there. So I'll have them do the same. And so I think that came out really pretty. And the one that I'm going to do for myself with the negative filter, I have another one. It came in 4, but the charms that I wanted to do is a black feather charm. Because black feathers to me are very protective. They remind me of the goddess Morrigan. They remind me of my path as a witch. I also have this Athame charm that I thought was really cool. Reminds me of Archangel Michael and how he helps me remove and cut any auric cords. And then I'm also going to have a little silver moon charm as well to put on it. And so the way that I'm going to do that one, and I won't do the video because it's going to be pretty long, I'm going to do the same way, add my herbs, but I'm also going to add a lot of yarn inside of it because I wanted to give it that web feel to it inside, because I want any negativity to get stuck in here. And I want it to filter out. And then with having the Archangel Michael energy in here, I don't want a ball of negativity to be just hanging out by my window. I want it to disperse and to be released back into the universe, and so that it's done away with out of my home. So that is how I did my first witch ball, which is a funny name for it, but I think it totally rocks. I love it. I love this idea. I'm glad that I did it. It looks great. I'm sure you guys could do a bunch of different ones and really have fun with it. I think I just got glitter all over my face, but yeah, so I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna do mine, and I'll share with you guys on Facebook. But thank you guys for joining me today. This was really fun. I liked it. So blessed be. Thank you.